Welcome, welcome. Gonna give it just a couple of minutes here, and we're gonna get started. Today's a pretty important day, so figure I would just come on. It's been a little while, so yeah, I think it's good. But just bear with me here, and we're gonna get to it. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Been a while since we've been on a live, so I figure why not, right? Yeah, Bitcoin's interesting here. Want to know, make sure before I go too far, if y'all can, if you can hear me just fine. If you guys could just go ahead and type in the chat if you can hear me, that would help me out greatly. Yeah, I know a lot of people are anticipating rate cuts today. Obviously, just there we go. I had to switch mics because I didn't realize that it was on my other mic. So can't hear me now. No, maybe you can hear me now. Let me go ahead and look at the volume on my mic. On my yeah, no, the volume's good. Um, let's go ahead and see. Yeah, it should be. You should be able to hear me now. I don't know. Let me know. All right, perfect. Yeah, I think it was just switching over from different mics. I was actually gonna have a guest on today. I think something may have happened, so I'm not gonna spoil the surprise. But when that video happens, it's gonna be pretty cool and hopefully pretty enlightening to everybody as well. But let's go ahead and get into Bitcoin here. Uh, jump into the chart because really truly, we've uh, we've seen some real interesting things happen here ever since we broke this trend line. And this is a trend line from a little while ago. Trend line, this trend line that I've drawn, it was all the way back from the market bottom of the bear market here for Bitcoin, and we broke that trend. And it's not like we just broke it like right here. We even got we couldn't even have enough juice to really truly get a bear retest. But if I moved it a little bit, you could say that we have, right? And that's okay. This is just one piece to the puzzle. Truly, there's a lot going on here. I know this chart has a lot of information, and you guys are like, "What is going on?" But we don't really need to dig into that right now. What I really, truly want to say is it's very all the signs are pointing that we're more likely in a bear market than a bull market. Um, so don't be tricked because that's what exactly what happened last time. And funniest story is me and Dustin last time kept screaming at the top was in, which we were only two people out of a few, and I mean two people out of like a good amount of people, and turns out we ended up being right. So here we are again, top of another market cycle. Could this be it? Could be. It's very possible. It's there's a lot more signs saying that the top is in than the top is not in. I'm not really going to go into all of them today, but I'm going to go over a few for sure. That's why I've been out. I've been out for some weeks now, just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting for a good opportunity. But it's really, I don't think we're there yet. I think we definitely could get some more downside first. We definitely looking at the higher time frames. This is just a daily chart, but if we go to our higher time frames here, yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. We got a little bit of support here, and that's what we bounced on, and that's fine. That's to be expected to first do that, but we haven't seen nothing quite yet. There's just like screams, "Oh, we're gonna bounce from here and come up out of this range, and everything's gonna be just fine." So I'm gonna go ahead and click on my moving averages here, just so you guys can see them very clearly. As you can see, we got our 8 crossed down through our 50, which created some price action to the downside. Um, just kind of hitting some, little bit of support that we do have here, bouncing a little bit. So far, we've pretty much checked the 8 on the weekly. Um, but if you look a little closer here, you're going to see something else that could create some price action to the downside later on this week, and maybe even upon the next weekly close on Sunday, which we're going to have the 21 cross down through the 50-day moving average, which is never a good thing. Never a good thing. Now, in order for us to literally stop that from actually happening, we would have to get back above these moving averages on the weekly. So we would have to reclaim from now to Sunday or close, we would have to reclaim 103. Is that impossible? No, it's not. But right now, the odds do not look very good. So, we have a low, a higher low, and then this week so far, we've already wicked, or last week, I'm sorry, we made a lower low on the wick. Could we do it? Could we make another lower low? I don't know. Let's see what happens. But, this is just based on the moving averages right now. Good to see you, RIP. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Much appreciated. Um, just out of curiosity, I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. I mean, I'm open. I'm open. I'm just going over things here that and not only that, on the weekly, our money flow is going down. Right, that's never a good thing for our money to flow to be going down. For me personally, in order to get for us to get a confirmed rally, we're definitely going to have this 20. This Stoch RSI close on the weekly time frame above 20. If we can do that, I say we have a confirmed rally coming. We're going to be in the midst of that, but we just haven't done it yet. And if you go back on the weekly chart, we always get two of these every year, but we've only made one, so that is in our favors. But it's just from a technical perspective right now, we're just not there yet. You know, also, um, I also put an esoteric twist on everything when it comes to markets in general as well. And, you know, we are in a 2 year lunar cycle right now. Yeah, long time no see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything is good, brother. Everything is good. Everything is good. Yeah. In my opinion, like you said, we just had that super moon. So if we had any time to be bullish, it's going to be from now to the new moon on the 20th. That's a good window here, but doesn't have to either. We also know it's towards the end of the year. We're going to have tax harvesting, all these things that are going to be taking place as well. So, retail also, we got the holidays, all those good things as well. So there's not a whole lot of momentum right now, which to me is to be expected. If you look out into the exterior world, out in the real world and everything, and you just kind of talk to some people. People say, "Oh, I'm kind of tight on money," trying to save, trying to do this, blah 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 blah. So, what do you think? You know, this is my big picture take of what's happening right now. There's so much garbage in the market. There's so many cryptos out there. I don't even know. It's probably over 60 million coins at this point. Um, but there's just so much, right? With so little liquidity. And it's one of those things where how you gonna stretch that little bit of liquidity over 60 million coins, I mean, we have altcoins making lower lows from their bear market prices right now, and people are still screaming that we're in a bull market. I think that's kind of problematic. I'm not saying that it's literally impossible, but I think this could be the opportunity where the great cleansing comes in and takes place and eliminates a lot of these garbage coins out there that are just not going to do anything. I think that really needs to happen before we have another really strong market cycle. Um, I don't mean to come on here and be a Debbie Downer, but I definitely don't want to lead people astray either. And for that, look, Ethereum has been struggle bus city. We've only been able to truly break over previous all time high for Ethereum by like $100 for God's sakes. That's nothing. That's literally nothing. Like, and we're talking about the number two cryptocurrency out of all of them, right? And then you put in the I think it's the 5.3 theory for Bitcoin. That's right. It hit right around the 5.3 theory for the price wise. Did it hit the 1618? No, it didn't. But that's okay. Like again, it's one of those things where it. I think a lot of this garbage needs to be washed away first before we can have a really strong market cycle. And what do we know? We're hearing all this news. We're hearing a lot of good news, right? a lot of regulatory clarity coming in, things of that nature. And let's be honest, guys, have they ever have they ever been straight with you? Have they ever said all these good things and then the market goes up? No. In fact, it's actually the opposite. They've always said a bunch of bad things and they get people to think the opposite and then the market goes up. But, we've been hearing a lot of things about interest rates, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. There's so many things that I could say from a news standpoint are, pretty decent, It's typically whenever we hear crypto's getting banned and there's hacks and this, that, and the other, we're at a local or a market bottom. And, we're not hearing any of that kind of stuff right now. And everything just kind of looks like super weak. I mean, look here on Ethereum on the weekly chart. Um, if this thing doesn't reclaim the 8 and start getting up out of here, the 8 is going to end up crossing down through the 50, creating a lot of price action to the downside. I mean, we're still above the 200 on the weekly, which most things on the weekly are already far down. And yeah, a lot of opportunities out there. For me personally, I don't really feel safe in anything right now just because of the risk that we threat to the downside here. Now, I'll tell you a level that we hit, I'll feel extremely comfortable jumping in for at least a good bounce, you know, because from there, altcoins you should see anywhere from 50% to maybe a 2, 3x on all some of these altcoins. And that level is right up here. We'll go back to the Bitcoin chart here. Um, right here at market structure at right around 69K. We come down to this level right here. I will feel really good about actually throwing some money at this market and getting a good market bounce. But I'm just waiting. I'm waiting patiently. A lot of this is chop, and a lot of people are really getting destroyed. Getting their portfolios destroyed because of this. But I'm just sitting here being patient. If we can get a 69K price here for Bitcoin, it's definitely going to bounce off of that market structure probably pretty good. I would definitely say we probably have a really good bounce there. But right now, it's just waiting patiently. And something else I kind of want to put some emphasis on too. If you kind of zoom in a little bit too, we're probably about a month. I don't know, maybe a little more than a month away. If this price action continues the way it is, of the 8 crossing down through the 100. Now, with that being said, let's go take a trip back in history here and see what happens when that 8 crosses down through the 100, which is right here. This is the last market cycle, right? And I can go back and show you previous market cycles too. But just from the 8 crossing down through the 100, geez, man, that's a lot. Like, that's a big drop. Boom, 47% to the downside. I don't want to. I'm good. No thanks. I'll just hang tight, be patient. These little bounce and chops in between here. There's typically only two big moves of the year in the market, and you know, as you can see right here, before the 8 actually crossed down through the 100, we did get a rally to the 50. Which even at the 50 today, I think we're looking at like 98,000 or something, which is totally possible. Yeah, 102 right now as of today. It's totally possible, but I'll tell you what: if it doesn't happen soon, this 50 is going to jog lower, and because that 21 MA is going to cross down through the 50 and create that price action to the downside. So again, just something to be aware of. Um, but really, truly, I think our market bottom could come in probably around 44K if we are in fact in a bear market. And by the technicals right now on the chart, it definitely says that. Now, could this be a really short bear market? I'm not opposed to that either. But guess what? We're gonna know. We're gonna know well ahead of time because of the charts. So it's no big deal. No stress. No stress. And that's always the best approach. If you guys are forcing stuff, stressed out, all this other stuff, just stay out of the market because that's like a number one recipe to lose money. And the name of the game here is to preserve capital, especially during this type of market. So yeah, what else you guys think? Zcash, boom, much needed correction. And I think it's really truly just getting started. You know, it was only like a few weeks ago we finally got a red dot on the weekly for Zcash. So the thing did good. Tracking this for quite some time. Good old rounded bottom. Boom, bang, finally took off. That's it. So let's see what happens. Sure, we got dominance. Yeah, our altcoins could do a little something because of dominance, but you know, Bitcoin's going to have to go up too in order for that to happen. There's some good things here, but there's just more. Right now, everything tells me we should go a little bit lower before we go up, before we get a really good strong bounce. March 15th, I believe, March 14th, 15th, somewhere in there, we have another total lunar eclipse. This will be the third total lunar eclipse back to back. We're in a 2-year lunar cycle. It all makes sense. So it's not like anything is really out of ordinary, in my opinion. It's just the way it is. Next year will be our last year of our lunar cycle. 2027 will usher in our 2-year solar cycle, which is typically pretty good for markets. So how good? Well, it remains to be seen. Let's see. And yeah, I still do. I still track ZBEC. I'll show you. I've been tracking spider lines on this thing, man. Well, everything that I put spider lines on, you can't lie. Like the spider lines, they don't lie. Weekly for ZBEC, yeah, probably a couple weeks you're gonna have the 8 cross down through the 50, which is gonna create a lot of price action to the downside. As you can see, right here, this target here got already hit with a wick. But if you go to the daily, if I'm not mistaken, this thing is literally just right up under that spider line. Yeah, see, it keeps trying to tap it, but it just hasn't had the momentum yet. Which, yeah, if this thing goes ultra cheap again, because I remember, I bought this thing dumb cheap, stupidly cheap, but guess what? I don't own any anymore. Why? Because I don't have an allegiance to any of these things. These are here just to make money. This market is a tool. It's and that's the way it should be. And see what the Russell is doing, because the Russell has been trying to break out, but it just cannot. It cannot. It keeps banging up against this resistance. It can't break the one line. It'd be nice if it did. Then I could see the crypto market expanding, but we haven't even done that yet either. And this looks like it could be. Who knows? Could be a rounded top. Could be some distribution going on here, and then boom, maybe we come back down to here, 2,470, you know, bounce again up to 786, make that right shoulder, and then come down more. I don't, it's just one of those things, just being patient. And I think everybody should be patient right now. Don't go rushing out to buy stuff, just to lose more value. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I bet we'll probably get a little boost today for Bitcoin. It wouldn't be surprising. Should. But right here on our RSI, we're at the 50. Can we break it? Well, that's another story. Let's see what happens. That's on the daily. Four-hour banging up against resistance at the 200. We just can't quite break it. Looks like the 4-hour they start. Money flow's flipping red. Not good. So let's see what happens. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. There's a lot of people don't like to hear the truth sometimes. So I could get on here and tell everybody this shit's going to the moon, and a lot of people, would be excited. They'd be liking my videos and all this stuff. But I'm just not here to do that. I'm here to give it to you straight, and that's it. And a lot of people, I have that core circle that has been rocking with me since 2018, and they're all still here. So it's pretty cool. And I'm glad you guys stayed the course and been patient, things like that, because it, we learn more and more and more, and the more we learn in this market, the more money we make, and easier our lives become. So it's it's a journey for sure. It's definitely a journey. We'll go ahead and take a look at some altcoins. This is one that, look, guys, like, I'm going to take off the indicator real fast so that way you guys can see the chart just a little bit better. There's no need to look at MAs here or anything. It's not like we're looking for a big rip ski or anything. But like VeChain, right? Let me go to a higher time frame here. Go to the weekly. VeChain, bear market lows came in here, right? And look, we're just making lower lows. Not good. Not good at all. Bezos is at the bottom of the trend. Maybe it can pop up, but I'm not. Again, not really worried right now about too much of this stuff. Phil made a lower low. Dot lower low. Engine lower low from the bear market. IOTX lower low from the bear market prices. Beta lower low from bear market prices. It's like, and look at this. Solana on the weekly looks like it could definitely be printing apart some stuff. Maybe one more up and then, collapse. Like, so for people to sit there and be ultra bullish right now, and it's all hype to me. And the first one that's going to turn around this market is going to be Bitcoin. And guess what? We're going to see that on the chart or anything else. I mean, good God, look at RSR. We broke trend all the way back here in September. This was on a strong trend, this whole market cycle, and then it broke trend. Not good. And guess what? It's already wicked down to right around bear market lows. hang tight, be patient, and you can be heavily rewarded for just hanging tight, being patient. Me personally, I think probably mid to late April, I'll be looking for some pretty heavy positions. From everything I'm seeing and esoterically right now, I think that should probably be a good time. But I'll keep you all updated. No, funny story is no. I've lived in Warwick, Rhode Island. Yeah, but I'm not from there. I'm originally from Ohio, but I actually live in Florida now. I've been in Florida for about 12 years. But yeah, I probably have mentioned Warwick, Rhode Island. I lived there for about a year. But yeah, um, that's kind of what I got for you guys today. I mean, really, truly, like, there's nothing truly exciting. And the people that are just trying to get people excited are just trying to make content, really, make views, get likes, make money. I get it. Um, sure, you can make some short term money, but, truly, who wants to throw a decent amount of money at this market right now? Unless you're doing futures. I mean, that's different. If you're leverage trading, that's different, but there's just really no point right now. Made out like a bandit uh, on Pirate Chain, as you guys know, is my number one bag, and yeah, so we did good on that one. Just couldn't break that spider line. We needed to break this last spider line in order for us to, head into parabolic territory, and we just haven't been able to do it, which is fine. Will it happen eventually? Absolutely, but patience, 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 patience right now. CXT, lower low. Do I like this project? I do, but you know, who knows? Again, we could see some pretty astonishing prices as this market trends lower. If Bitcoin goes to 40K, what do you think some of these altcoins are going to be at? That's going to wipe out a lot of altcoins, and I think it'd be a great thing. Secret, hanging out at the bottom of a channel, could potentially break through. Really, truly. So I think that's all I got, guys. I'm gonna come back with a special guest later at a later time, maybe here in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I was gonna have somebody on here. It was gonna be pretty cool because as an aspect I've never kind of brought to you guys on the channel yet, but gonna be kind of breaking into that because I'm learning some new things as well. Um, but let's see what happens. Um, but yeah, right now, just stack your money. There's really no rush unless you're in a rush to lose money, really, truly. Because I know a lot of people, they want to, oh, yeah, these prices are good. Yeah, the prices are good, but I think they can get better. And the whole name of the game is to, make as much money as we can and preserve and protect our capital. And, you know, so, but if you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to hop up off here and appreciate you all coming out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love, many blessings.